If this is way too complicated, there are simpler forms. This form admittedly is assuming that you know what you're doing, you know what you're looking for, you know exactly what you want, and you can build this out piece by piece. If you just want an S-type body with SSS routes, there's a whole other page for that. That's not this page. If you want a T-type with just T-type, pickups, or you can choose pickup options between either of them, but that's the only option you get. That's a much simpler page. You will find that link at the top of the first of these pages. This is Wolf with Mythic Guitar Company, and if you're seeing this page and this video, it means that you're trying to order an S or a T style guitar. Now the thing is, this looks very complicated, but it's not. The one thing is, you have to select an option for everything and read everything, make sure that you're doing it right, and it is going to take a little bit of time. And by the time you see it, it'll probably have photos and things like that, and it'll make it a little easier. But right now, I'm just building this thing out so I can get it launched. Forgive me. I know it looks weird and it looks complicated, but it really is a really cool thing. So bear with me, and I'll show you how to use it. So to start with, you can either do an S-type or a T-type guitar, and you could hybridize them, which means that you can take things from the T style and put it on the S style, or you can take things from the S style and put it on the T style. You can mix and match between the two interchangeably, and you do that with this form, which is why it's so long. There's actually 4 pages to this thing, so it does get kind of convoluted, or well, it looks like it gets convoluted, but it really doesn't. So first of all, you select your wood type. This is for the main blank, so let's do alder. Now, do you want a laminated top? And the thing is, we don't use veneers, we use actual 1/4 inch or roughly that actual tops. So this is an actual blank of wood, not a super thin, paper thin veneer. That's the reason for the prices on these. This is not a veneer, I gotta express that. So now, if you don't want a laminated top, select no laminated top, and then you're done. Then obviously no chamber, because you can't chamber it unless there is a laminated top. If you do want to chamber it, you can select chambered, and then you have the option of taking the same blank of alder, cutting it, doing the chambering, and then gluing that back together. And then we do our thickness and our milling and everything else after that, but we can use the same piece of wood, cut it apart, do the chambering, and glue it back together. That's what this is. Now, if you want flame maple, quilted maple, bird's eye, or anything else, and you select one of these other options. Let's do that because you want it chambered. If you don't want it chambered, no laminated top and no chambering. And you notice too, I want to mention this. So chambering is $50. You click that. If you click on it again, it says minus $50 for no chambering. That's because it takes the $50 back off of your total. That can confuse you at first sight if you're not really understanding what you're looking at. Like, see how that just changed to 100? So if you select one, now that's nothing. Select 45 here, and then these prices change because that's an additional 330. That's an additional 100. That's $375 less, and that's taking that off the total. That's what these numbers mean and why they change. Okay, starting again, we're doing alder, we're doing no laminated top, we're doing no chambering, right-handed guitar, no F-holes because it's not chambered. You must select that. Or if it is chambered, you can do an F-hole or a diamond hole, either one. So far, everything makes sense. Control cavity, top or bottom. Do you want the control cavity to be under the pick guard from the top, like a normal S style, or do you want it to be from the bottom, like a lot of other guitars, where you feed it through the bottom? If you want it through the bottom, that most likely means that you're not going to have a pick guard, but we'll address that in a moment, because there is actually something that you need to do. And then you can buy the actual plate from us in white, black, or cream. Now, we're designing this hole for the bottom route. So we would make the exact fitting plate to go into that bottom route. So you can buy that from us, $20. So both of them are CNC'd and they're made to fit, so you don't have to do this. If you want it from the top, then you don't have to do that. Hey, we don't want a control plate because it's not routed from the back. Select that. Okay, now, right now we have a guitar that is in the shape of an S-type, and you want to add an arm cut, you want to add a belly cut, you want to add the hand cut on the back of the lower horn. That makes it a little more ergonomic, and you can do a heel contour like the offset type, made in America of the other brand type, you know what I mean, with the holes in the kind of weird places. So this contours the back of the neck, and then this is for the horn, and then this is the belly cut, and then this is the arm cut. Now you have all the contours, and that assumes that you have a half-inch round over all the way around the body. Now you can get a rounded neck heel or a flat neck heel. You can choose either of them for either style. It doesn't matter, but we're just going to do S-type. Now, do you want the mounting holes drilled? Yes or no. Go to next. Okay, so are you using a pick guard? This asks you if you're using a pick guard. Yes, I'm using a pick guard. No, I'm not using a pick guard. So the reason why is if you are using a pick guard, then we're going to route the pickups with a channel in the center of the pickups that goes from the neck to the bridge, just like an S-type guitar. If you say, no, I'm not using a pick guard, then we're only routing the pickup pockets. And then we drill a hole to get the wires between them, just like a Ibanez or some of those types that don't have a pick guard, a lot more like a Super Strat. That is very important. Let us know if you're using pick guard or not. Now, here's where it kind of gets a little confusing, or can be confusing. A lot of people would be confused by this. Do you want it to be tubbed out, or do you want pickup pockets? So a tub is one big open rectangular thing, like some of the super cheap Squire types. That's a tub. If you want each pickup individually routed, then you click no tub. So that's what that is. I am using a pick guard and I want a tub. I am not using a pick guard and no tub. And I want a P90, I want a Telecaster bridge type pickup, I want a single coil for the bridge. So I got a P90, a T-style, and a single coil in the bridge, in the middle neck. You can do anything here. You can do P90 and P90, which, by the way, P90 does in fact fit under an S-type pick guard. It does. And also a P90 will fit a lipstick, a humbucker, a single coil, a tele neck. It'll fit all of those. So P90 and P90 configuration will fit literally any pickup except for maybe that. So P90s. Okay, so control pots. How many pots do you want? 1, 2, 3, 4. If you select 4 pots on an S-type guitar, we will do it. We will absolutely do it. It's up to you to figure out the pick guard, or we can make you a custom pick guard. But that's not part of this form. So it would be easier with 4 if you were doing no, I'm not using a pick guard, because then it just goes in the body and it would be more like a LP style guitar or something like that. So you can do 4 pots, you can do 3, which would be standard, it'd be 2, you can be 1, and basically we cut, regardless of if it's top route or bottom route, we will cut the pocket for that size. And then you also have to figure out what kind of switch you want. You want a blade or a toggle, and we cut the route according to whatever you choose here. So you want a blade, you want 3 pots, And then you go to jack route. Do you want it on top like an S type, or do you want it on the side like a T type, or a lot of other guitars? So that's kind of the deal there. Which one do you want? Do you want it on the side or do you want it on the top? Let's do it on the side. And then you go to next. Now, the next thing you need to do is figure out what kind of bridge you want. Now, the thing is, on S-type guitars and a lot of T-type guitars, they are not standardized by any means. So the screw holes on a 6-screw bridge are not all the same. They're in different places. There are so many different brands, so many different varieties. We can't program every single one of them. So we figured out a 6-screw, a 2-post, a T-type with a standard T-type pickup, and a T-type with a humbucker, and then the traditional. Both of these are flat. They're like a thick metal, and this is a traditional style with the ashtray type, and then a Floyd Rose recess. These are all from All Parts. You can look them up. You can buy them yourself from All Parts, or you can get it from us. We can sell you the actual one. So basically, if you have one that you want, you are going to need to provide us with the drawings, and not just something that you do with calipers and whatever. You're gonna have to go to the manufacturer themselves and get an actual schematic with the actual dimensions and things, so we can know exactly where to put those screws, unless you're using one of our recommended parts, because this is what our models are. So let's say you do a 6-screw All Parts SB0200. You can buy that from us in chrome, gold, well, chrome or gold. Not all of them have different options. So like the hardtail doesn't come in black. It doesn't come in gold. You can get it in chrome though. And then you can get this one in chrome, you can get this one in gold, and then you can do the 2-post. You can do the 2-post in nickel, chrome, black, etc. Make sure, please, for the love of God, make sure you click the right one and verify that it's the 6-screw All Parts SB0200, and that those two match. The thing is with this, they may not be in stock. If they're not in stock, we will most likely just refund you for it, rather than tracking one down from another company. We charge what All Parts charges for the parts, so it is possible that you might be able to find it cheaper somewhere else. I don't know, but it would save you shipping if you buy it from us. So there is that, because we're not going to charge you extra shipping to put a tremolo in a box. So if you want to buy the part from us, buy the part from us. If you want to buy it somewhere else, that's the part number, and you can find it. So, and again, if you have a custom bridge or some other brand of bridges you want, you need to provide us with the schematics. Then, do you want us to install the bridge for you? Yes or no? If you do want us to install the bridge for you, what that means on a S style is we're doing the trim claw, we're doing the springs, we're doing the bridge, we're doing basically all of that. We're putting all that in there for you, or at least drilling the holes and getting them ready, and then doing all those things. So otherwise, we're trying to decide on whether we're going to drill the holes or not, because there are different things, and different people might have different things that they want to put in there. So we may not actually drill the holes in the back. So this installation, if you have us install it for you, we would be drilling the holes and installing the claw and the springs and everything else. Now, do you want a battery cutout? Yes or no? If you do want a battery cutout, you can buy the battery box from us. Here's the All Parts number. You can buy it from All Parts. Next is, okay, do you want binding on the top? If you do want binding on the top, that changes how we profile the guitar. We're not doing a 1/2-inch roundover on an S style, or an 1/8-inch roundover, or 3/16, or whatever it is on the T style. We are doing it flat, and then we're cutting the route for the binding, and then we are putting the binding in. We're not doing any of the roundovers. So it would be black, white, cream, black, cream, black, cream, black, cream. You know, we don't want to have to do every single option because it's a lot of stuff to handle and maintain and inventory. So black. If you want it on the bottom, black. If you don't want binding, no binding. If you don't want binding, no binding. Pretty easy. Verify. This says that you have verified everything that you've done. Everything works together. You know it works together. And you are confident to move on to the next page and that you don't think there are any errors. Okay, so then this is a paint disclaimer for finish. And the thing is, if you look at finish on a guitar, watch this. Alright, here's a Daphne Blue guitar. Every single one of these is different. They're close, but they're different. So if you go to images, look at all these different things. So the camera that they take the photo with, the lighting that they take the photo with, the hue and contrast and white balance that they take the photo with, all on the camera changes all of this. And then when they upload it, they lose quality, and then your screen, your computer, your tablet, your phone, the brightness and contrast on that, the quality on that, everything changes. Everything changes what you're seeing here. So every one of these is different. So if you say, I want Daphne Blue, and then we send you Daphne Blue, and you're like, that doesn't look like that. Well, it may not. It may not, because of all these different things that go into taking a photo and getting the actual color that you're looking at. If you're that particular about it, one thing I can say is that the place that we buy these colors from, like Daphne Blue, Pelham Green, Dakota Red, and all of these normal colors, the list goes on. These are all F-type colors, and the thing is, the place that we get our paint from has worked with that brand to go back to their original formulas from was it Dunlop, back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s when these colors were originally put on cars. They went and found the closest to the original factory F-type guitars, and then they formulated like Sonic Blue, for example, for the 60s, for the 70s, for the 50s, and these are specifically formulated to VF okayed these colors. So if we send you a Sonic Blue and you're like, that's not Sonic Blue, F themselves signed off on it. Now that's what this disclaimer is. Agree to that, please. Sonic Blue, you want satin or gloss? Satin. Now the thing about the gloss is very glossy. It is very smooth. There's no orange peel, minimal orange peel. There's no shrinkage in the grain. It's way beyond what most companies do. It's above and beyond what most companies do. So we charge a little more for that. And it takes hours upon hours upon hours of labor to get the paint jobs right. And now, do you want no paint or do you want paint? If you don't want paint, semi-raw wood. You got to click that if you don't want paint. So this is just wood, and then this is just grain fill ready to finish. So we will grain fill it for 75 bucks. If you want raw wood, the raw wood is sanded to 220 and it's ready to be sealed, it's ready to be color coded and ready to be cleared and everything else, and whatever you want to put on it's fine. Our grain filler will accept nitro, poly of all types and everything. So do you want it raw? Do you want it grain filled? Or do you want it color? Whatever you want. If you say, for example, have a figured maple top, you're not going to want any of these solid colors. You're going to want some sort of a burst. The thing is, I don't want to put 150,000 different burst options on this website. It's just too much. So send us a photo of the burst that you want. We will do our best to reproduce that as closely as possible with whatever colors we can find that are as close as possible. Up to 3 colors for $424. Now, if you want like an 8-color burst or something weird, I mean, we're gonna have to talk about that, but This is assuming that you want 3 or less colors. So, if it is raw wood or if it's grain filled, you choose that. If you want polyurethane, no extra cost at all. If you want UV, which is what F style, G style, and many other manufacturers, almost every manufacturer in the world now uses UV polyester clear coat and grain fill and everything else. It's highly durable. It's what everybody uses now. So $75 because there's a lot more material to apply, but that doesn't mean it's thicker. It just means there are more steps to it than normal everyday polyurethane, which is car paint and car clear. That's what that is for automotive use. Now the polyester UV is more durable than that. If you want nitro, it takes an extra 6 to 8 weeks on top of the Q. It takes forever to cure. So, and it's also more difficult to work with, harder to get all the micro abrasions out, and harder to get all the grain out and the orange peel and things without burning through it. There's a lot more risk involved, so we do charge extra for that. Unless you want a light relic nitro, then you can choose this, or a medium relic nitro, or a heavy relic nitro. Either way, these all add time. And like I said, nitro takes 6 to 8 weeks to cure before we can even start buffing it. So expect a long wait if you select nitro. So let's just do the UV cure. And then you come over here and fill out your information and pay and all that. And that's it. And then we will ship it out to you as soon as we can. So if you have any other questions, give us a call, send us an email, whatever you need to do, we'll get back to you and help you out. But anyway, give us a call if you need us. We will gladly help you out. Thanks.